Okay, Huns, we're back. It's another episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life. And this week, it's true Hun royalty joining me on the podcast this week. She's the Queen of the North, who has recently been crowned on this very podcast as the Royal Hunness by Joe McElderry. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. She's soap, stage and screen royalty with the voice of an angel and moves to put a night at Liquid and Envy on a Saturday night to shame. It's the one and only Claire Sweeney. Welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life.
Hello, darling. You all right?
Yeah, just getting on with it, hun, just keeping young and getting on with it. How are you?
I'm marvellous, dear. I'm marvellous.
My guilty pleasure is Claire Sweeney, I think. No, my guilty pleasure is I love a bit of Kylie Minogue.
My mother used to call her Killy Monologue.
Killy Monologue.
Killy Monologue. She couldn't say her name. I love Kylie. Do you know what I love? I love anyone who stands the test of time.
Yeah.
In our business is so fickle. Chew you up, spit you out, chew up, spit you out.
Yeah.
And Kylie, Lulu, people like that, they've just stayed there for years and kept reinventing themselves. And I think she's marvellous.
She's marvellous. So I went to Jessie Ware last night, and so this was the Sunday night show, the second of the 2 nights in Brixton, and Kylie came out on Saturday. So when
did she?
She did, she came out. They did the thing. It was all over Instagram. The gays went wild. It was lovely, and then. So on Sunday night,
Who came out?
No one. Kylie didn't come out. And the thing is that we're stood in the audience, and everyone's like, "Can't believe she's not coming! Oh my god, I'm fuming! Oh my god!"
Fuming.
Literally, yeah. It was gay meltdown at the back of the sound box. It was gay meltdown.
But can you imagine? I mean, the thing is, you either do Kylie or nobody, because if she'd have brought someone else out, if she'd have brought Danny out, if Danny had walked out or something, I mean, the gays would have gone. It's just a disappointment, isn't it? After Kylie, so let's do nothing.
You very, very kindly invited me down to Proud the other week, and I literally can't stop talking about it. It is the campus. I absolutely loved it, and my friends loved it, and you were absolutely fabulous, living your best life up on that stage. How did that come about?
Well, do you know what? I've been to see Duncan do it, and I spent a lot of time touring. I did 9 to 5, the musical this year. And I started in a cabaret environment. I mean, certainly not like Proud, but on all the social clubs and all that. So I've grown up doing cabaret. That's where I cut my teeth. And I went to see it, and I literally said to Alex Proud, if you need a replacement singer, let me know.
Yeah.
Right? It was literally one of them. And then time went by, lockdown happened and all that. And they got in touch and they just said, would you like to do it? And I was like, I bit their hand off, For me, Gareth, I live in Pimlico. So it's 11 quid in an Uber to work, right? 10 quid, or I can get the train to Charing Cross. I'm at home. I get to be outrageous. I get to be funny. I get to be...
You get to be on a swing?
I get to be a Madame Dominatrix. I set me Mary on fire, which is fabulous. And get it blown out by a gorgeous girl, topless with her boobs lit on fire. And then I get to swing, and I get to sing Diamonds Are Forever in a sequin catsuit on a swing. I mean, what's not to like?
I know. Do you know what? When we cut this episode, we're just going to have that soundbite, and it's going to be, I get my Mary set on fire and I'm a swinger. And then that's going to be the headline, right? That's it.
And you know what makes me laugh? Because I say this on stage and I go, I get to be a Madame Dominatrix, and the crowd goes, woo. Ooh. I say, I get to set me Mary on fire. The crowd goes, woo. And then I say, and I get to swing, and it's often just like 1 or 2 people who go, woo. I'm like, there you go.
Brilliant. Okay. Right.
And Jess, did you see Jess on the Rockin' Horse? Was she on that night when you were there?
No, I saw Katrina.
Oh my God, hanging by her hair.
She is my new Instagram obsession. My boyfriend is already following her, and she's like, it's Katrina. And I was like, well, who's Katrina? And he's like, well, it's just Katrina.
Isn't she? Yeah. And she has a top knot on her hair, ties herself to the ceiling and swings round, doesn't she? It's like, oh.
What more do you want on a Saturday night, eh?
I know. I have to massage her and give her a Nurofen afterwards.
Do you know, what's your thoughts on this whole hun culture
what is
thing?
a definition of a hun?
Well, this is the thing. It's quite a hard thing to define, to put a thing in. Do you have a definition, and what do you think it is?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been saying the word hun for years because I'm terrible at names. And it was just a mental time. And there'd been no reality TV.
No.
There'd been no dance, no Strictly, no jungle, no ice dancing. There'd been nothing like that. So it was the first of its kind, except Stars in Their Eyes. They used to have that on.
Yeah.
Celebrity Stars in Their Eyes, and that was it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like how, because I was actually looking at, when you did Big Brother, it was the first celeb one, wasn't it?
It was the very first one. There'd only been one series, which I hadn't even watched, which Craig won the Scouser. And they asked me to do it. And I replaced Mel B. Mel B had pulled out. And I'd met Richard Curtis at an awards ceremony. Didn't know who he was, sitting chatting to him. And he got this Lifetime Achievement. It was BAFTAs. That was it. I sat next to him. And he just remembered that chat and Susie Albon was there. And they asked if they contacted Phil Redmond to see if I'd do it. I was in Brookside at the time. And Phil let me because there was actually Phil said no at first. And I went up to him, I said, well, I've got no episodes, it's quiet. I said, it's for charity. And he said, but say you get beat. I said, I won't. I said, Anthea Turner and Vanessa Feltzer in there were more well-known than me. I remember when I did it, the press used to nickname me Bob because no one knew who it was unless you watched Brookie. So they nicknamed me Bob Bird off Brookie. But it was great, Bird off Brookie, yeah. And I'll tell you a funny one. I remember my character was going to Thailand with Kylie, her daughter Kylie Corkill. And I remember carrying it, and I thought, bloody hell, we're going to go to Thailand on location. This is marvellous. But they filmed it at Speak Airport in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they just kept spraying me with water.
To get that misty dew.
To get that misty dew, right. And a few local extras. And I remember doing this scene where I get arrested on the Travelator and my teddy bear's full of drugs. And I didn't know. And I'm doing this monologue and I'm acting my heart out. My daughter's crying, I'm crying. I get led off in handcuffs and I've done this big monologue. And they said, oh, we've got to do it again. I says, why? And behind me, there was a big poster saying, welcome to Liverpool's Albert Dock. And they went, we've got to and they put an orchid on it. They said, we've got to do it again.
Fat Tony, how did this all come about? Because it seems like a really, really beautiful friendship.
So I'll tell you what happened. I had read the Sunday Times and I'd read this amazing article about him. And he's a good looking guy, isn't he? I thought, what a handsome bugger. And I read it. And then I go to my local cafe and he's in my local cafe. I said, now this is before lockdown, I've just been reading about you. But he was too cool for school. He kind of looked at me and he was like, yeah, all right. And turned away, right? And I thought, wait, okay. Anyway, during lockdown, I used to see him around, out and about. And during lockdown, I remember coming out my house and he'd fallen off a scooter in front of my house and he was on the floor.
And you're like, you need me now.
Yeah, I know. Who's the boss now, bitch? Anyway, yeah. So he was on the floor and he'd really hurt himself. God love him. And we helped him up. The friendship kind of blossomed from that. It was lockdown. We just started talking. And that's kind of how it happened. And then it kind of turned into breakfast every morning. And then it's just this lovely friendship now. I absolutely love him. Are
you a homebody or do you like to be out? Because you tour a lot as well with the shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love being home.
Yeah.
And I think being away so much, I really, really appreciate home. And I just, I like to be here for Jackson as well.
Yeah. And you've just been Jackson, for the listeners, is Claire's son. You've just been to Harry Potter World. You've been collecting one of the things I saw on Instagram the other day. You were on Oxford Street looking for a football kit.
It was awful. It was awful. I mean, he was told to come into school looking like something where he's from. So I wanted to dress him up as Cilla Black and he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it. I've got the ginger wig and everything. He wouldn't have it. And then I know that I thought, I suppose I better get him an Everton kit, Yeah. But I love Everton. So trying to find an Everton kit in London, you got no chance. Liverpool, yes, it's everywhere, but I couldn't do it. I'm a blue. And I'm walking around. I managed to get him an England shirt. It didn't fit him. I had to take it back. I ate Oxford Street at the best of times. I had to take it back, and then that was. And then I managed to get him some sort of Team GB shirt.
Yeah, just go generic.
Him as a Beatle. And Paul O'Grady messaged me. he said, dress him up as a sailor. There was loads of sailors when I was in Liverpool.
Oh my God. I would love to know what your WhatsApp. It's probably like the who's who of showbiz. I love it.
So I'll tell you what happened. I've just done Brasserie Zadell, right? I've done Brasserie Zadell. And it had gone a storm. Yeah. It had been fabulous. Don Black had been there. Everyone had been there. And I had all my gays there as well. And I went, right, come on, we're going to freedom, right? And so I walk in with all my gang of gays sitting in freedom. I'm like, Prosecco for everyone.
Make it rain in the club.
Yeah, loving it, loving life, right? And then I went home and I mean, God, I don't drink so much these days, but I'd had a few drinks, right? And I walked out, I minced out, giving everyone a big showbiz wave and to pay me bill. And I'd invited everyone, so I didn't expect anyone else to pay anything. And I'm like, giving it, see ya, be back next week, giving it all a big exit, And I phoned Nathan the next day and I was like, oh, Nathan, did I pay my bill? He went, no. I went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me give you my credit card details. He said, no. I said, let me pay the bill, Nathan. He said, no. Give me 2 songs. Next time you're in, give me 2 songs. I went, let me pay the bill. He said, no, I want you to sing. I went, well, there's worse things to do than singing a kinky cabaret. I loved it. And I practiced and I went and did my songs. And I remember that night, it was, oh my God, it was so funny. It was this, I got up and I sang and I told that story on stage. I said, I'm here tonight, I'm paying my bill.
Now, one thing I want to talk to you about, because one thing that the celebrities that we have on the page and all of like the icons from like, back in the day and everything like that, everyone's done a fitness DVD. And I did a bit of research. You've done a fitness DVD.
Yeah, I did, dear.
And do you know what? I actually had a copy because one of Katie does all the scripts and put all the research and everything together. She's like, I've got Claire's DVD. So she brought it to the event yesterday, but due to unforeseen circumstances, and my phone got robbed, everyone, but let's move on. I'm over it. I couldn't go back and get my bag. So I've actually got your DVD of your fitness DVD. Do you remember did you do a series? Was it one?
No, I just did one.
Just one.
I did one, yeah, just one. I remember doing it. I was so thin. Oh, I was so thin. And I remember them trying to find a picture of me before when I was when they want to do like a picture of you on the front looking really big, don't they? And I didn't really have one. So I was trying to find like pictures of me in a loose maxi dress looking a bit heavy before, But yeah, I did. I remember doing that video, yeah.
It's so fun. Like
everyone did them then, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was a real thing of the early noughties, wasn't it?
Some of my favourites are Tracy Shaw's Salsa Size.
Mine was Beverly Callard.
A workout. That's iconic.
Beverly Callard was the first one.
Bev Callard, yeah. And have you seen the one with?
She used to do a thing. Do you remember Calonetics?
What she used to do? What?
There was an exercise of that era. This is the 90s called Calonetics.
And it was full Bev Callard pioneered it.
I think, I'm not sure if she started it, but it was this new exercise craze. And it was around the time when Jane Fonda did hers and everything. And it was called Calonetics. I don't even know, I can't even remember what it was really. I remember doing Bev Callard's in the 90s.
Well, do you know what? Bev Callard's thing, I can guarantee that the listeners of this, and we speak about it loads on the page, whenever we put anything about Beverly Callard, everyone's like, my mum did that, I did that. We used to get cans of beans, but it's the best one where her daughter is actually doing the workout with her and then they like fake chuck her in the pool at the end and everybody seems to remember that. It's crazy. Can't remember my own national insurance number, but can remember Bev Callard getting chucked in the pool on a fitness DVD. Are you, Claire Sweeney goes in, are you the first one on the karaoke, or is it like, come on, Claire, have a go, or are you the first one up there?
I literally love karaoke. I crashed a birthday party the other night. I went with Fat Tony, and it was a famous skateboarder called Blondie, right? And it was this private karaoke room, and they were really cool, these people. And I walked in my bright yellow suit. And I sang, I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. And do you know the way to San Jose? Do you know the way to San Jose? That was it. And then I sang I think I sang a duet with Blondie. It was fab.
Oh my God, yeah. If in doubt, just get up and karaoke it out, right?
Mine would be a bit of Marvin Gaye, wouldn't it?
Bit of Marvin Gaye. All the classics. Yeah,
let's get it on.
And
I remember a very romantic moment when I was a teenager. I was in Tenerife with my mum and dad, and the glass collector asked me for a dance. And you know, in the Spanish waiters, they pile the glasses up, right? Yeah. Really high. And Phyllis Nelson was singing Move Closer. And he's got me in one arm and the glasses in the other, and we did a slowie to move closer.
Which one?
My mum and dad sat watching.
Which one did he drop first, the glasses or you?
And we've got a home video of it playing. And for some reason, we had this tiny paddling pool that was a shell that used to open. And we
from the Argos catalogue.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one by one, we all got in it and jumped out, and then we put the dog in at the end, and the dog jumped out traumatized while Russ Abbott's Atmosphere was playing. That is core memory unlocked there. That is so core memory. Do you remember that? It's like a shell. And water in it.
That is going to be my meme. When I get my phone back tomorrow, that is going to be my meme. I'm going to say, true Huns found their water wings in this.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fabulous. This week, you, one of our reigning queens, get to crown another Hun as this week's Royal Hunness. Could be anyone you want.
Well, mine's really obvious. I mean, for me, no one can touch her because she's the queen. It's the Dame, Shirley Bassey.
Dame Shirley Bassey.
The Dame. One who's reinvented herself. I remember running to the front of the stage in the 19s. I was with Dean Sullivan, who played Jimmy Corkill, and we both ran to the front of the stage, throwing roses at her, both crying. Oh. And then I remember years later partying with her at Balance.
Oh, on Compton Street?
On Compton Street, yeah.
Shirley Bassey in Balance. Oh, God.
Friend of Brady, the guy who owned it, Brady, she was his friend.
Oh, my God.
And she's amazing. Oh, my God, she is totally amazing.
And just keeps coming back. It's just brilliant.
Can I tell you a quick story about her?
Go on.
I was doing a concert with her, right? And I turn up to rehearsals. I'm the biggest fan. And I turn up to rehearsals, and it was going on the Royal Albert Hall, this concert. And it was just with a 60-piece orchestra. But I've gone to Marks and Spencer's for me shopping on the way to rehearsals, right? So I walk in with all my shopping bags, and I've begged the musical director to put her on after me in rehearsals so I can just hang out and watch her rehearse, right? So I've walked in with all my shopping bags, and I'm sat there waiting, and she's late. And I'm looking at my clock, and I'm thinking, I've got to get home, and she's late. And the next thing, the musical director, his phone goes, and I see him nod, and he's going, yeah. Okay. He puts the phone down, and he strikes up the band, and the orchestra goes, bam, 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 bam. And I start hyperventilating, right, with my shopping bags, right? Bam, 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 bam. And the door opens, and she walks in perfect time, goes to the mic and goes, good. And she starts, right? She must have sat in the car outside.
Yeah.
And they said, she's here. And she walked in and started. And I'm like, that's a start. I walked in with my shopping bags, right? And
munching on a goujon.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's walked into that music and started singing. Oh my God, she's amazing. She's a true Hun. That's too funny.
Claire Sweeney, this was the Hundamental Guide to Life. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Bye, love. Bye. Bye.